Hey guys, welcome back to another countdown. In today's countdown, we're going to count down the top 5 players in all of RuneScape's history. Though there are only 5 players listed in this video, there are still many great players who have come and gone from this game that we all love. Number 5. The Old Nite. For many years, the Old Nite was, at several times, the top of the high score list during his time of playing RuneScape. He was commonly battling out for first place in the early days of RuneScape with Zezima and Lil Yuffie88. During the middle of 2006, the Old Nite logged out briefly during his max stats party, and nobody knew why. It was later confirmed by his sister that the Old Nite had died at 46 years old just weeks later in May that year due to colon cancer, and his wife and son requested that his account be safeguarded. Older players say that he was Australian and was best known around RuneScape for his willingness to converse with the other players, as other high-ranked players such as himself normally wouldn't talk with anyone else when online. The Old Nite's password was leaked in 2009, ultimately forcing Jagex to lock his account permanently. As far as I know, nobody knew what his real name was. The Old Nite was the first player to achieve all 99s in 2004, and after his passing, he had a memorial hill built by Jagex in level 13 Wilderness. It's safe to say that the Old Nite definitely deserves to be a part of this countdown, and I hope he rests in peace. Number 4. Novalife. My personal favorite of the countdown, Novalife was known outside of RuneScape as Jordan, and he was the highest ranked player in the high scores for a brief amount of time. And when I say brief, I really do mean brief, as Novalife literally got rank 1 overall, overlapping Zezima. He then retired from the game shortly after, causing him to not be widely known anymore around RuneScape by most people today. His victory was definitely short-lived. He began playing RuneScape in July of 2004 and ended up quitting in November of 2006. He was one of the fastest and most efficient players ever to reach 2,178 total level back in those times, especially since he started years after the main people like Zezima, who had been already playing RuneScape Classic, whereas Novalife had not been. Novalife's username, when translated literally, means new life, and his reason for quitting RuneScape was because he suggested that, in his words, he looked out his window more than he would like to admit, suggesting ultimately that the game was taking over his life. What amazes me about Novalife is that he used to have a website at the address of novalife.freehostia.com, but it has since been long taken down. His Photobucket account, however, in which he associated all the pictures of the site with, are still up to this day, and you can find a link to his Photobucket account in the description. At his Photobucket account, you'll find over 700 plus pictures documenting his entire journey from month 1 of playing until the very last time he quit in 2006. He later returned in 2010 for dungeoneering, but lost interest sometime later, and in 2011 he was hacked. He never returned since. Number 3. Suomi. Suomi was the first person ever to achieve 4 billion experience overall in RuneScape, and later the first person to 5 billion experience overall, thus giving him 200 million experience in every single skill, in which he was also the first person ever to do that too. Suomi created his first account around 2001, but he stopped playing with it because he disliked its username. He decided to try playing RuneScape since his friends from school played it, and he noticed a lot of people at his school library playing the game as well, so he created a new account named Suomi, which would turn out to be the highest ranked account ever in RuneScape history. Suomi's username itself is a Finnish word which means Finland, and it is said that Suomi chose this username because he admired the nature in Finland. Due to commitments with school, Suomi didn't initially have considerable time to even play RuneScape. In fact, for the first 3 years of playing the game, he was a non-member who had quit the game time after time again due to scammers. Suomi began setting 200 mil experience goals for his skills due to his inspirations coming from a number of players like Zezima, Jebrim, Alias, and many more. On February 21st, 2011, Suomi attained the maximum total level of 2,496 at the time. He had around 2.025 billion total experience when he maxed, and he became rank 5 overall. Suomi stated that he tried to avoid getting the maximum total level as long as possible, since once players reached the top page of the high scores, they also got a lot of negative attention too. On September 24, 2012, Suomi stated that he would stop playing so, in his words, hardcore, because he simply no longer enjoyed the game. Suomi had 199 mil experience in thieving, the last skill that he needed to have all skills maxed with 200 mil experience. He was at 4.9 billion XP overall, and getting this last skill to 200 mil would have given him 5 bill. Jagex had planned a trip for Suomi to Jagex headquarters so that he could get his final experience point there on the 21st of February. However, they retracted their offer after watching one of Suomi's videos on his popular YouTube channel in which he shares some of his disrespectful opinions towards Jagex. Suomi accidentally gained 200 mil experience in thieving. Shortly after receiving his milestone of 5 bill experience overall, he received a mute for 2 days in which he couldn't even throw a party. When Divination came out, Suomi never did get 200 mil experience. In fact, he is only 6 experience away from getting it, and has been ever since. Nobody knows why he won't achieve 200 mil Divination already, but in my personal opinion, Suomi has more hate for this game than love, and we may never know why. Nonetheless, his skill is unmatched and definitely deserves to be part of this countdown. Number 2. Yogosun. If you're a veteran of RuneScape, then you know exactly who this person is. Known outside of RuneScape as Johan, Yogosun was the first player to ever reach 200 million experience in 3 skills. He's a Swedish RuneScape player who was first on the overall high scores for over 4 months. He had a YouTube account in which he shared videos showing his RuneScape history, but unfortunately his YouTube account was later hacked and much of his videos are lost now. Yogosun was playing on a soccer or football team, and some of his friends were playing a game that they called Run and Escape, and when he asked them where he could try it, they told him to go to runandescape.com. After a few days of searching for the game, he realized that they were pronouncing the game's name incorrectly, which is actually quite humorous. It was only around a year later, when he was surfing the web trying to find something to do, that he actually stumbled upon RuneScape. He named his account Yogosun because he wanted to create a name that sounded Asian just for fun. His first level 99 skill was Magic, which he achieved on November 6, 2004. He said in a 2007 interview that he plays RuneScape simply because he finds it relaxing and usually does other things while he plays, such as watching videos or doing homework. Yogosun has never attempted to achieve rank 1 overall, he said. In reality, he just enjoys playing the game. After the release of Summoning, Yogosun achieved rank 1 overall on the high scores on the 22nd of July 2008. And he was the first player, as I said before, to achieve 200 million experience in 3 skills, which were fletching, cooking, and thieving. Yogosun later stated on his YouTube account before he was hacked that he lost interest in the game after Jagex had been making a lot of updates to the game that in turn made the game, to him, unrecognizable. On July 29, 2011, Yogosun reached a max total level of 2,496, and today he still continues to play the game with a max total level of 2,595. Starting his journeys in 2001, Yogosun definitely deserves to be in this countdown. Number 1. Zezima. This guy could be the entire video if he wanted to be. Arguably by Mod Mark that Zezima is perhaps the most famous RuneScape player in all of the game's history, he definitely deserves to be number 1 on the countdown whether you love him or hate him. In 2007, he made it onto the list of the biggest role models in a study done by Cartoon Network's New Generation show. He was also given player moderator status on April 8, 2009 during RuneFest 2013, and Jagex awarded him the Golden Gnome for Lifetime Achievement. This reward recognizes players of the RuneScape community. Zezima was the only player in RuneScape history ever to have retained rank 1 overall for years and years. He began playing RuneScape in early July of 2001 and was the first player ever to achieve 99 Slayer, a total of 1,980 total level, 2,079 total level, and as well as 1 billion experience overall. As of August 2014, however, he is ranked 113th on the high scores. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and Zezima stated on his YouTube channel that he had, and I quote, "stopped playing competitively due to the amount of updates by Jagex making the game progressively easier over time." He continued on to say that these updates weren't fair to the players who took pride in their achievements and who had been playing the game since the very beginning. Little is known about Zezima, but his real life name is Peter. His username comes from his last name, making his full name Peter Zezima. In 2007 on his YouTube account, Zezima0213, Peter posted a pronunciation of his username because so many people were pronouncing it wrong. He corrected everyone by explaining that his name is pronounced Zezima, because over the years there had been so many silly pronunciations of his name. Zezima is still currently an active player, though no longer playing to achieve ranks, and his home world is World 103. He logged into old school RuneScape for a brief amount of time, and everyone went crazy with anticipations to see if history would repeat itself on the old school high scores, but Zezima never returned to old school. My guess is that he felt a sense of nostalgia and curiosity, so he logged in and not actually wanted to try to gain ranks on 07. As of August 27, 2014, Zezima has reached a maximum total level of 2,595 and continues to play to this day. So many rumors have been spread about this player, accusing him of being a robot formed by Jagex just to train 24 hours a day, to being a girl, which obviously he isn't, to also going as far as being rumored to have hundreds of people always playing on the account for maximum gains. He was known mostly for his silence and showing no willingness to talk to other players whilst playing the game. But hey, if you were getting spam like this every time you logged in, I don't think you'd be spending time trying to answer everybody either. Zezima has and will always be, in my opinion, the most famous person in RuneScape. That's it for this countdown, and please destroy that like button.